My name is Marc Morano. I'm the author of The Politically Incorrect Guide to Climate Change and publisher of CFAC's Climate Depot. And just before I get started here with my presentation, I just wanted to say the previous speaker from the University of Pennsylvania was talking about the IPCC as though it's some sort of sacred scientific institution. This was an organization that has been accurately called a political body masquerading as a science institution. In fact, the chairman of the IPCC, Rajendra Pachauri, actually wrote on his day of his resignation a few years back that global warming is my religion, unquote. And this was the head of this alleged scientific panel. And people like to say, well, it won a Nobel Prize. It won a Nobel Prize in peace. And the United Nations it's a campaign cause. They get to set up the problem, say CO2 is a danger, and they get to do the solution. They have no incentive to go against that. And in my book, I feature, and in my research, all these scientists who say they'd sit around meetings, say, we'll make the next report so alarming the world will have to act. We have quotes from top UN officials saying exactly that, years in advance of a report. It's a lobbying campaign organization. And one other reference, the previous speaker mentioned the National Climate Assessment as though it was some esteemed scientific report. It was written by Andrew Light, Obama's former United Nations Paris investigator, and the two lead authors were Union of Concerned Science's left-wing activists, Catherine Hayhoe and Don Wobles. In other words, if it read like a release from the Sierra Club or Greenpeace, that's because it was essentially written as one. And sadly, the Trump administration, for fear of not wanting to look censorship, allowed this report to come out last year. But it is far from any kind of scientific report that you'd want to cite for non-bias.